live stream. Okay, we're live. I think the lighting might be a bit dodgy, but you know, we're gonna survive that. I'll just get the chat up. I have to remember. Oh, it's gonna happen easily this time. Okay, it's almost as if I've done this enough to get a bit more well versed in how it goes. So I'm going to pop out my chat. Didn't do any advance warning of this one really. So hey, if you're watching this back, it's just you and me. No one's joined the live stream yet. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm just checking some things, and we're live, and we got the chat, and we're happening. So yeah. Hey, look, if you're watching it back, how are you doing? This is a little private time, just you and me. People who join it live won't see this. It's just me. Wait a sec. I think there are some viewers now. They should pop up in chat and say hello, maybe, so I know who's here. Man, I started my weekend early. Tomorrow is actually a public holiday in Melbourne. One of the gazetted public holidays. The state premier decided to move one of the holidays and tie it in with the AFL, the Australian Football League grand final. The parade is tomorrow, and so it's a public holiday. And I have like no interest in football, so and I think it's vaguely weird that we have public holiday football, because in another month we have a public holiday attached to a horse race. So it's getting a bit strange, quite honestly. Hello, Mr. Gonzo. How are you? I'm just going to check because I have a cold. I was sick from work today. 5 drops. Okay, zinc is meant to help with cold fighting. Mrs. Angry tells me this. I'm going to put a few drops of zinc in my drink. That's weird. It's all milky. Where's the spoon? I'm going to stir that in. It's a bit weird. I probably won't taste it when I see it. Lots of ice. Probably hear that. Oh, yeah. 6 a.m. and you've been blowing glass all night. Well, that is an interesting turn of events, Mr. Gonzo. Is this a hobby or a profession, this glass blowing? Are you doing this for yourself, or are these commission pieces? You're getting stuff done. Oh my, I'm probably going to sneeze and blow my nose all through this. It's like my sinuses are all fucked up. So apologies, because that's gross as hell. Watching someone sneeze and blow their nose is really gross. So apologies for that, but it's unavoidable. I am sick, so you know, can't really get around it. Yes, okay, getting things ready. I'll try not to be too sick. How about that? Ooh, I just realized I might try something here and copy that. Let's see. Has this posted to Twitter? Yes, it has posted to Twitter. Good. Good. We like to tell people that this is happening. I might just check. Has it posted to Facebook? Check my Facebook profile and see if it's posted. No. Okay. I'm just going to post a little link on Facebook. Bring in the long weekend. Okay, that's right. Comments because of the stupid gas. What the fuck? How could that possibly have well, spelling correct suggested compensate. I mildly misspelled comments. Ooh, which pretty picture will I put? That one, that one. There's some new ones. I don't know if it's really true, but oh, that'll do. That looks like a party type thing. Watch here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I've told people on Facebook now as well. I'm all over this shit, man. It's almost like I'm a professional. Not really, you know. I try. Okay, Tendai, hello. I don't have any. I had pizza. I had pizza, and now I have it's kind of margarita, I suppose. It's that's had um, sweet and sour chili rock candy dissolved in it, so it's red and a little bit spicy. And I got a little bit of blood orange liqueur in there, and coconut juice, and it's tasty, tasty, tasty. Okay, so hello, Tendai, Connor, David, and Joe, and Lucy. Joe, I've just started. I've just been rambling for a couple of minutes, setting up, making sure the world knows I'm here. You know, time to take it easy. I'm having a super long weekend because I do have a cold, and I didn't go to work today because I was feeling blur. It's like I was at home. I don't know. I felt like maybe I could have gone to work, but I would have been really sort of tired and lethargic all day and in a bad mood. So I think it was better I stayed at home. Taz, I don't know, a couple of hours at least. A couple of hours at least. So, you know, I don't have to get up early in the morning. So, you know, maybe I could just woo, go wild. Who knows? You know, but then there's always, well, I like snuggling with Mrs. Angry. So if she goes to bed, when she goes to bed about 10, that makes me kind of want to go to bed. Joe, now, I'm not solving the world's problems yet, but working on. Okay, Taz, I will see you a little bit later then. But I'll be here at least a couple of hours. Yeah, Tendai, I mean, a cold virus can really set things like world domination plans back a little. There's no two ways about it. If you're not up to it, it can be a bit rough. Oh gosh, Mr. Gonzo, you shared the story about the SWAT team throwing the flashbang into the baby script. That was fucking awful. Frankie, how you doing, buddy? You out at work? Nico, how you doing? Oh, nice. Nice to see you dropping by, mate. I hope things are treating you reasonably well over in the mighty WA. So, what's this? A couple of hours earlier for you, I guess. As in the summertime, I always get confused about how big the time difference is. This is a fascinating thing. Like Nico's in, if you're at home, Nick, I assume you're in Perth, and that's the west coast of Australia, and I'm on the east coast of Australia, and depending on the time of year, we have like an either 2 or 3 hour time difference. Australia's a big fucking country, and it's a long way from the east coast to the west coast. And hello to you, WAW Productions in Brisbane. Yes, Joe, it's an angry cold. It's probably a more virulent strain than others. I don't know. I survived all winter without getting sick. And I'm not really sick at the moment. It's just a bit of a cold. But all winter, I was surrounded by sick people. I did get a flu vaccination. Should have just as well. This was apparently one of the worst flu seasons in Australia, like ever. And but I had sick people around me at work all the time, and like really sick motherfuckers, and coughing and snorking, and I'm great. And there was all these times I feel some symptoms like a runny nose, like, oh, okay, this is it. I'm gonna get sick. And I didn't. Like it passed after a day or so, and but now it actually caught up with me. I've been since what's today? Thursday, since Tuesday. It came on Tuesday, and I thought, I feel I'm getting sick. And Wednesday I was at work and I felt worse, but I struggled through the day. And today, Thursday, it's just like, no, fuck, not going to work. Okay, 2 hours time difference between East Coast and West Coast, 20 years culturally. Well, man, you know, you gotta Do what you can with that, I guess. Hi, musical aviator. Good to see you. So, oh God, okay, I'm all stuffy. Yeah, I was threatened or apologized at the start. I was probably going to sneeze and or blow my nose during this, which I acknowledge is gross. But I'm sick and I can't get around it. And I don't think I can go much longer without blowing my nose. I'm going to do it now. Incidentally, and I'm not joking, chocolate scented tissues. I thought these were just normal tissues, cheap tissues when I get them, but these are slightly expensive ones that just happen to be on special. Oh, and they're cocoa and shea butter tissues. So they smell like chocolate. Ooh. Oh, nice. Frank's working on some animation that I'm going to do some voice stuff for and get a few other people to do some voice stuff for. Frank's doing Sergeant and Officer Ragemeyer. I like it. Greetings to you, Phila and Sela. Philly and Sela. Mr. Gonzo saying, Nico saying Perth is culturally behind, it's like South New York. No, our Alabama is Queensland. Nico's right. Look, Perth is one of the most isolated, if not the most isolated capital city in the world. It's thousands of kilometers from any other major city. It's really isolated out there. But yeah, it's not really. It's isolated. Honestly, culturally, I feel like Queensland's our Alabama. Chocolate. I know, right, Nico? Chocolate scented tissues is weird. I didn't know they were chocolate scented when I got them. But they're not bad. I like the eucalyptus ones. When I'm this stuffy, I like getting the ones that got like eucalyptus oil in them because they're a bit softer. I can feel my nose getting raw, and yeah, they're soothing. These ones are high quality ones, so they're a bit soothing. But I like the eucalyptus. Hey, Toby. Oh man, I was sick today, and also I forgot. Your parcel has arrived in the mail, and I haven't picked it up yet. So hopefully next week. I probably would have got it today if I'd gone into work, but I stayed home. I've been doing a Netflix binge today. I did go out to get booze. I'm not joking. I decided I didn't have enough booze, and I went out because big weekend. I went out and got booze. So I was out of tequila, so I got some tequila. I was out of bourbon, so I got some bourbon, and I also got some extra vodka. I made the chili tequila, which is red, and I did. This is with rock candy. I get specialists. There's people call themselves the candy artisans, and they make flavored rock candy, and they do really specialized ones. So I got their chili, sweet and sour chili rock candy. I put in the tequila. They have the bacon maple flavored rock candy, which I put in the bourbon. So I've got like maple bacon. I'm not even that drunk, but I've got bacon maple bourbon. So I actually had a bacon maple bourbon sour earlier, which was nice. This is kind of a margarita now, and I did salted caramel in the vodka. So I got salted caramel vodka. Ooh, Mr. Gonzo, a Mr. Angry Mask pet pendant. I like that idea. You're addicted to beef jerky, RC. That's interesting. I've never gotten into beef jerky. I've tried different sorts. So yeah, Toby, your packages have arrived. I just haven't picked them up. Yeah, Nico, I think that's it's a recipe we could work on. Maple bacon. That's maple bacon for drunk people. Maple bacon. Hello, I'm having some maple bacon tonight. Maple bacon bourbon, as opposed to maple bacon bourbon. It's so I like that, David. You've only lived in Tasmania and Queensland, and those two states are the butt of jokes. See, Tasmania, because it's an island. Oh, Frankie's been watching on the phone and his battery's only at 50%. All right, I'll catch you later, mate. Because Tasmania's an island, so it's got a kind of limited population, so everyone always makes the jokes about inbreeding in Tasmania. And Queensland. Yeah, Queensland's just Australia's Alabama, basically. Ooh, Tendai. Maple Macon endorsed by the most interesting man in the world. What would he say? Something like, I don't always get so shit-faced I can't pronounce the drink, but when I do, it's on Maple Macon Bourbon, which is not why I'm talking about it. I might have some Maple Macon later. Yeah, Nico, I think you could be right. Maple Macon tissues could be a winner. Oh, yeah. Joe, Queensland is by far the most conservative state in Australia. There are conservative people anyway, and there are shades of conservatism everywhere. But Queensland is by far the most redneck state in Australia. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I swear, Australian politics is so stupid at the moment. Like, it's embarrassingly stupid. Like, I just look at it and go, can you not just scream to the whole world how stupid Australian politics are? Got to elevate this way because the ongoing story, the thing I've been talking about for months is the marriage equality vote. It's not even any sort of real vote. It's a survey. It doesn't mean anything. It's got no rigor around it. People have had their mail stolen. It hasn't gone to the right. It means nothing. It's the government copping out and not doing their job, not deciding this is a law we should make. It's them copping out, and it's fucking ridiculous. It's been dragging on forever, and the anti has been getting stupider and stupider. From the start, none of their arguments made any sense. You have people saying, "Oh, it's okay to vote against marriage. It's okay to vote. It's okay. You're just telling everyone in the world you hate gay people. You think they're less than human. It's just that. That's what you're saying. If you're saying you can declare who does and doesn't have the basic right to be married and have their relationship recognized equally under law, then you're just saying, I just don't like them. I think there's something wrong with them. They can't be like me. That's what you're saying. And anything else is pussyfooting around. So, but it's gotten really stupid this week because virtually every big company and entities come out publicly as pro-marriage equality, and the big football grand finals are on this weekend. The AFL is on Saturday, and the NRL is on Sunday. That's Australian rules football on Saturday, and rugby league on Sunday. And they tend to have big performances at the grand final. Not as big as like Super Bowl, but they have a performance. And the rugby league, Macklemore this year, and he's going to sing his early hit "Same Love," tribute to a marriage equality when that was up for contention in the US before it got made legal in the US. And I swear, I mean, okay, I always thought Tony Abbott was a complete cunt. I've never made a secret of my belief that Tony Abbott's a piece of fucking shit. Like, he's awful. Oh, is he British? You got the live stream working on your iPad. Excellent. But seriously, Tony Abbott has just been embarrassing himself in the last week. Like, his own party saying, what the fuck? I mean, they actually started saying that a while ago. They started telling him to shut the fuck up a while ago. But this week, it's combined with him making a huge scene about Macklemore, like, oh, boycott it should be banned. He shouldn't be allowed to do it. Like, Tony Abbott is all for free speech when it's racist motherfuckers like Bill Leak or other cunts who push their racist shit in Murdoch rags. But the instant it's something he doesn't agree with, it's like, no, let's ban it. You shouldn't be allowed to have this public performance of a pro-marriage equality song. Day, how come I only stream while you're at work? Well, that would be time differences, I guess. Because I don't have to stream at the same times, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Joe, Tony Abbott's problem with being a rejected Catholic. He's too much of an asshole. For those who don't know, Tony Abbott actually went to a Catholic seminary, started training to be a priest, because he's a conservative authoritarian fuckhead. And he thought, yeah, being in the church is really, and the Catholic Church is really conservative. And he's going, yeah, that's where I could bloody fucking tell people what they can and can't do. I'll be the arbiter of what people can and can't do. And he failed in the seminary. And the reports were basically because he couldn't deal with the charity side of religion. When the religion was trying to, yeah, hey, how about we do stuff to just help people? How about we do charitable? Tony, why don't I put you in charge of a charity? He couldn't fucking handle it. So that's a fucking damning indictment. Dave, you're from Norway, okay. So yeah, Tony Abbott, who on top of everything else is a lying scumfuck, always going to go, oh, free speech. Oh, people should be able to say this racist, homophobic shit because it's free speech. But then as soon as it's something he doesn't like, you're not allowed to do that. We're going to attack this young woman, Abdel, I can't even remember her name, but a young Muslim woman who spoke out and he attacked her. See, the one thing I can't stand is hypocrisy. Look, some people have different opinions to me, and that's cool. I do actually recognize different people who are completely decent people can have different views. You regard different things as important, or you place higher importance on. That doesn't, by definition, mean you're a bad person. Tony Abbott is a bad person. Tony Abbott is a very, very, very bad person. He's a liar, hypocrite. See, while, if I disagree with someone, particularly if it's a fundamental thing, I might get quite spirited in my argument with someone who I disagree with. But as soon as they become a hypocrite, that's when I don't waste any more time on it. It's just like, fuck you in the fucking neck. It's like, no, hypocrites, no time whatsoever. Okay, difference of opinion. Even if I fundamentally disagree with you, it's like, cool, just stay the fuck out of my face and everything will be okay. But hypocrites, people who say, oh, free speech, right up until the time you say something they don't like, and then they try to ban you from saying the thing they don't like. No, fuck that. Fuck hypocrites. I really can't stand that. So yeah, oh, David, yeah. Well, Tony Abbott's sister is a lesbian. So him spouting all this vile, hateful shit publicly, you can imagine what sort of schism that's causing. But his own daughter publicly came out in favor of marriage equality this week. And it's like, man, how fucking tense is Christmas at the Abbott household? It's quite obvious everyone thinks Tony's a fuckwit. I mean, everyone knows he was fucking his advisor, Peter Credlin. So his wife, though she maintains the public thing, I reckon she fucking hates him. And I think the daughter knows about that. And that's probably why she publicly humiliated him. So I reckon Christmas dinner at the Abbott household has got to be one tense motherfucker of a situation. I mean, it's got to be rough. It's got to be ugly. That should be a movie. Oh, that would be the ultimate Australian comedy. Christmas at the Abbotts. Oh, God. What a nightmare that would be. My word. But I tell you what, the other thing, this has been a little bit under the radar. You might not have heard this one. Because Abbott's just spouting this insane shit, oh, we should burn more coal. Yeah, we should do fracking, do coal seam gas and destroy farmland and whatnot. And He actually said the government should use its military powers for anyone who tried to disrupt coal mines or fracking. He said Australia should have martial law. It's basically like, oh, what? And mind you, this is a guy who was in control of the government and couldn't get any of his policies in place because of a combination of his incompetence and his obnoxiousness. But he didn't push any of this shit when he was the guy in power. So he's a typical hypocritical, cowardly liar. He spouts the shit. Well, you know what we should do? Get the army in when people... But you wouldn't say that when you're in power because you're a liar, a coward, and a fucking hypocrite. You're fucking worthless, Abbott. But seriously, he's actually saying we should use the army to keep people in line. And his own, again, the Liberal Party have been going, what the fuck? They're just be saying, why are you saying something that fucking stupid? Because that is just stupid. And he's like, whoa, bring them in. Oh, Aaron, you're sick too. I'm sick, buddy. Oh, David, I don't think the headbutt gave him any brain damage. I think it's all the alcohol abuse from his youth that made him like that. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, I know Lucy said RIP Hugh Hefner. We haven't had a big celebrity death for a little while, have we? And Hugh Hefner's a pretty big celebrity. Like he was 90 something, so he had a big influence on the latter half of the 20th century. I mean, you know, he's an interesting character because look, he did a lot to push forward more open ideas about sex and sexuality. And the Playboy magazine did publish, you know, the old joke about reading Playboy for the articles, but Playboy did publish some really intelligent articles. But there were also, there's no two ways about it. There were elements of Playboy and Hefner's life, the Playmate Mansion, that were really exploitative of women and really negative. Oh God, and then there's the officer. Okay, Nico, thanks for dropping by, mate. Good to see you. Yeah, man, if you ever get out, definitely got to catch up, but look after yourself in the meantime. Yeah, but I mean, Hefner's interesting. There's usually, okay, 10-second delay. I've noticed, and it's going to vary depending where you are, but I've noticed there's a 10-second delay from where I say anything to where I see any response to it. So, but I've just gotten used to that at the moment because I can just, you know, talk shit. I can talk nonstop. So it doesn't matter if there's a delay to any responses. So I can just keep talking. But yeah, it's interesting seeing people responding to Hefner's death because yeah, he's a complicated character. He's not all good, he's not all bad. Oh yeah. I'll see if I can share this link. Mike has been really quick off the mark and done a Maple Macon meme. See if this link works. Tell me if that link works. So yeah, I don't know if that link will work. But nice work, Mike. Oh yeah, Lucy, women in Saudi Arabia can drive, which is like, yay, I suppose. I mean, like I was really conflicted in that. It's like, yeah, the fact women in Saudi Arabia get to drive now is dodgy as fuck. You know, I am a huge opponent of the Saudi regime. I think they're fucking awful. I think it's sick that we have diplomatic relations with them and treat them like they're our pals when they're such oppressive, awful regime. I think we should put heaps more pressure on them to change what they do. But yeah, it was like Saudi Arabia are letting women drive, and I'm like, yay, I guess. But then I saw a bunch on social media. Saudi women were really excited and really happy. It's like a major thing for them. It's a major step. It's like, cool. Let's just concentrate on the positive and say that small advance in Saudi Arabia of women being allowed to drive is a good thing. Mega Leach party, bro. I mean, I don't have to get up tomorrow, so that's cool. So yeah, I think we can sort of get this party started. I was thinking earlier tonight, I think one thing I would really like to be able to do in live streams is play music. Like, basically, I'd like to be able to do like an online radio show. And I know why the record companies don't like it. They think whoever the hosting site is getting a free run off their music, like whether it's YouTube or whatever. And they want to protect their copyright. And I understand that, but I wish there was a thing where there was like a universal license like radio has, and so I don't want to monetize it. I don't want to make money off it, but I'd love to play DJ to people in a live stream, like select the music and share music that I like and create a whole mood. But I can't do that on a live stream on YouTube because Content ID would pick it straight away and shut me down straight away. And the channel would get shut down. So we don't want to do that. Yes, Fila and Dave, I think, and the rise of renewable energies and electric cars and whatnot, because obviously the reason we suck up to Saudi Arabia is their oil. I mean, Lucy, but you can't play music on Twitch streams, can you? The same copyright. But yeah, Peter, I think a Spotify plays, but I'd like to do it real time and probably more or less adapt to the feedback and play things like, okay, here's another one that I like. Mr. Gonzo, you have to give a lesson in 5 hours. You got to debate. Oh, that's tough when it's that soon. When you've stayed up that late and you've only got 5 hours till you've got to be doing something, it's really tough to know how do I try to get some sleep or do I just power through? Oh man, I've been there. That is a really tough decision to make. I don't have to. Right. So, Lisa, you're saying Twitch lets you play music? Excuse me. Vaughan Live does it. Okay. Well, maybe I'll look at that. Oh my God, I'm getting so congested when I talk. Oh gosh. All right. I see the copyrighted song parts after streaming. Okay, that's weird. Yeah. Yeah. Copyright is really complex. I mean, look. As someone who tries to create original content that I'd like to have protected and I'd like the opportunity to make money from it, I think copyright as a concept is very important. I think it's very poorly applied at the moment. I think the way America has pushed just extension after extension after extension to copyright is stupid and doesn't make any sense and shows that the system has just been bought by big companies like Disney. So I think the stuff was, used to be like, okay, you had a copyright on something for 10 years after you created it. Now it's like 50 years after the author's death. That doesn't affect someone's drive to create. It's fucking ridiculous. Here's Tendo, it's all about Disney. It's fucking all about Disney. And it's not just that the copyrights are outdated, it's that they're getting worse. And you're right, Joe, it's been driven by America with greedy things. But the weirdest thing of all is America's a pirate nation. America became wealthy and became the dominant power in the world from being a pirate nation by not respecting copyright or trademark laws from anywhere else in the world. They were ripping stuff off books, they were ripping off designs, they were ripping off business things. They just refused to recognize any of the copyright or trademark laws from around the world, and it boosted their economy tremendously. And now, you know, they're like the dominant economy. They try to shut everyone else down. It's, you know, but it's counterproductive to the companies that do it, but they're just too short-sighted to see it. Tendo, the Jolly Roger would be a more honest flag for America than the Stars and Stripes color. My nose is so blocked up. I feel like I'm sounding really nasal. And I'm going to be really gross and blow my nose. Sorry. Oh, oh God, my nose is getting really raw. Yeah, Aussie Brick Chick, some of the copyright claims are ridiculous. One of the most annoying ones is people using things like GarageBand loops or sound loops beats that are made available copyright free or but they put them on something that they then release commercially, which is actually in breach of the original license. But then they try and say, see, I've released this commercially, I own it now. And they don't. They don't. But they try to claim they do. I've had, Christ, I've lost count of how many claims. I had one just recently. And I just do counterclaims and go, no, 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 no. I just on principle, I'm not letting that go. That motherfucker does not own the rights to that music. They are fucking lying. And I am filing a counterclaim. And they always work. Hi, Celtic King. I'm fine. No, that's a complete lie. I have a cold. My nose is really blocked up. I sound shit and have to blow my nose every now and then. You know, I am not well. I mean, it's hardly life-threatening. It's just a cold. It's not even a severe cold at the moment. So, Aidsy is finding it a bit rough. I've talked to Aidsy this week, and he is having a bit of a rough week, but he's soldiering on, and my family are well. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Joe, that is one of my big things. One of my really big things is, okay, if we, as consumers and people doing independent stuff online, if we're going to face this 3 strikes rule all the time, like, oh, if we get you breaching copyright 3 times, you're going to be cut off of that thing. These people who file completely spurious, bad faith claims, they should be shut down. They should be stopped. It's like, I'm sorry, you've filed multiple bad faith claims. You're either really stupid or really dishonest. Either way, fuck you. You don't get to file any more claims. But they suffer no punishment for all their false claims. And all these companies, whether they're big or small, file thousands upon thousands of spurious copyright claims. They need to be punished, and there's no punishment on them at the moment, which is really bullshit. Well, Dave, I thought doing a stream might make me feel better. Plus, it's a long weekend. I want to have to drink. I haven't done a stream where I do a few drinks. Well, I thought I might do that tonight. Joe, I actually agree. I think false copyright claims should face the same punishment as actual copyright infringement. Oh, Viacom, musical, yeah, Viacom are the fucking worst. Yeah, and Peter, you're right. There is an industry. I mean, the big companies just do it just because they're big fucking thugs. But there are copyright trolls who go around all over the place. And you're absolutely right, Catherine. Copyright trolls should be punished. They should be monetarily punished and stopped from doing it anymore. Lucy, you saw a story on Facebook saying China ordered all its North Korean businesses to shut down. I don't know what that means, Lucy. I don't know what they mean about North Korean business. So like cut off trading with North Korea, or just telling their people to get out of North Korea because it's quite high risk at the moment. I mean, hey, you know, this is like fucking 80s revival. In the 80s, I used to worry about nuclear war all the time. And then as the Cold War went away, the threat of that went down a bit, and it wasn't a constant thought like we're all going to die in a thermonuclear war. Then out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere, Donald fuck knuckle Trump, because he's a fucking child, threatens the lives of everyone in the fucking world with his stupid bluster? Celtic King, that, my friend, is a very good question. How many drinks do I intend to consume? As many as I can stay upright with, really. Okay, it's not even 9 o'clock. Oh, I will mix another drink in a bit. This one will be gone soon. This one is it's kind of margarita. It's got tequila infused with sweet and sour chili rock candy. So it's got a little bite to it, which is nice. And there's some blood orange liqueur in there because I don't have triple sec. So it's and some like coconut juice. So yeah, I mean, but the thing, Trump has debased public life so much. America's not going to recover. The world is going to have trouble recovering from the debasement that Trump. But America is just being dragged into the fucking sewer, and then being a country on earth. That is a very bad thing for the rest. Joe, I am having lemon juice in my drink. I don't usually drink hot drinks. I drink things. Yes, Philly, the Cold War was a thing. But now we're not even getting a Cold War. It feels a bit like a hot war with Trump just saying stupid shit. And you can't really say stupid shit to someone like the North Korean regime that has nothing to lose. Like Kim Jong-un has everything to lose if he backs down to Trump. So standing up to him is like, you know, Trump is straight up threatening to bomb the country. Kim Jong-un has nothing to lose by saying, well, I'm going to fucking bomb South Korea. I'm going to bomb Japan. I'm going to shoot down American planes. I'm going to fire missiles at American warships. He has nothing to lose. Trump is a fucking moron, and someone just needs to fucking go him with a baseball bat. I mean, it's just, it's so hard to wrap my head around. How can someone so cavalierly threaten the lives of so many people? It's like, you know, even like I said this before, but when he cavalierly said, I'm going to wipe out North Korea, he's just casually saying, hey, you know what? I think I might commit the worst war crime in history. I might commit, just because I'm a fucking prick, I might commit the worst crime against that has happened in all of history. Yeah, Lucy, FBI SWAT teams. I'm not that important. Mind you, I probably wouldn't want to try visiting America anytime soon. With all the talk of American immigration, want to see all your social media. Man, they would not like my social media. I don't have any plans to go to the US, but I mean, this is it. The US is like a borderline police state at the moment. Like, if I went to the US, I basically, well, I wouldn't take a phone and I wouldn't take a laptop. And if border control said anything about wanting to see my social media, see, this is a slight unfair advantage I have. I'm old enough to go, I'm too old for that shit. I don't do that. And they'd probably believe me. You know what, Peter? You're right. It's like going to a job interview when we could all be dead in 6 months. This is really the 80s all over again. And I've seen floating around that someone says, oh, I used to get really pissed off at Christmas decorations showing up in the stores really early. Now I just think, oh, that's cute. They're so optimistic. They think we're still going to be here in 3 months. It's like gallows humor. Everyone's doing laughing at the fact that we face the very real prospect of large amounts of humanity getting wiped out. It's just, fuck me. Oh, it's too depressing to think, I have kids. And the idea of this being their world makes me fucking sick. I mean, after Trump got elected, I had trouble sleeping. For a couple of nights, I had trouble sleeping. That has never happened to me before. There has never been a political event, a social event, you know, any sort of conflict or act of war that has made it hard for me to sleep. When Trump was elected, I had trouble sleeping because we're all fucked. And it's all come true. Like everything that Trump's done has both been A, completely predictable, and B, absolutely abominable. And it's just like, who could have known Trump would act like that? Everyone saw what he's like. Everyone knew what he was like. People were saying, like, this is what it would be like if you elected Trump. And it's all come true. And yeah, no, I have deep and real concerns for the world and the continued existence thereof. I'm out of drink. Where's the president hating sniper? I still love, just after Trump got elected, a black dude on Twitter saying, come on now, why doesn't one of you white isolated loners take one for the team now? You know what I'm saying. Oh, philosopher, how many years? He's only been in 6 months. Jesus, less than a year. It's just a weird snowballing fucking nightmare. Oh, Tendo, I heard emails. Now they're like, Jared Kushner's using private email. So half a dozen people in his administration are using private email services. It's just like, fucking hell. The sickness of American political and media culture blows my fucking mind, because it's like humans have so much at their disposal. Humans have so much knowledge, so much learning, access to such intelligent people, and humans make the choice to be fucking idiots. So Hillary's book's ridiculous, Peter. Look, it's not something I'm honestly going to waste time reading. Not a Clinton fan. I mean, yeah, compared to Trump, it's like there's literally no comparison. But I think Clinton's just a political hack, a conservative, like virtually everyone in the American system, bought and paid for by vested interests. I'm not a fan of Clinton at all. It would have been, I am of the belief, it would have been more interesting if Bernie Sanders got the nomination. It would have been really interesting to see. But we didn't get that, so, oh my God, it's so blocked up and it's resonating. I'm going to stay. Oh, yeah, that sneeze loosened things up. That's actually much better. Oh, Joe, Hillary seems like a saint compared to Trump. Clinton is a human compared to Trump. Is not a human. Trump is a vile, egotistical, infantile, racist sack of shit in a badly stitched together, poorly fitting human skin suit that I assume is taken from homeless people that he flensed the skin from. Because he's not human. He simply isn't human. He's not. And it's so funny, people getting upset at people saying, well, Trump's racist. It's he just is. He's beyond racist. He is a white supremacist. He panders to white supremacists. He has a long history of being deeply racist to non-white people, and it's not an insult. Like weirdly, particularly on shit outlets like Trump News, going Fox News saying, "Oh, it's offensive to say Trump's racist." Fox News called Obama racist repeatedly. Oh, okay. Our theories about why Trump won. Obama taking millions from Wall Street now. Well, Peter, step one, I'd say citation required. Step two, the idea that there's any politician who doesn't cash in is like Trump's taking millions from Wall Street and Russia now. Trump is a fucking criminal. Trump is a criminal now. And Catherine is saying part of the reason people wanted to get away from the same two families. Look, I agree. I didn't like Clinton's whole thing of it's her turn. Like, I feel like Clinton did very little to push a compelling narrative as to why voting her in was a good idea. There was this vibe that she just deserved it, but no, look, again, this is the thing I refuse to shy away from. And it's been obvious in the way the Republicans have acted since Trump's been in power. There were these conservative white people who were really fucking angry a black guy won 2 elections. And there is no getting around that. That is a primary driving force. Racism, xenophobia, and sexism were the major forces that pushed Trump across the line. And yes, he lost the popular vote by millions, and he continues to lie and whine about that, which shows what a pathetic loser he is. But he won with the electoral college system, so he won the election. And what pushed him to that point, everything else is nuanced. It's racism, xenophobia, and sexism. And it's like, no, these conservative white people were really upset at the idea that they were potentially losing their centuries-long grasp on power. And it was the last desperate gasp of the worst aspects of conservative white people. And the people who voted for Trump should be fucking ashamed of themselves. It was, history will not judge America kindly on that result. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. So, yeah. Okay, Celtic, the things I shouldn't laugh at when you tell me that VD and the pedos are bashing him, that even the pedos think VD is below them. Like, that is a thing I shouldn't laugh at, but I find it really difficult to not laugh at. But, I mean, look, the dude has such obvious, severe mental health problems. He's got a delusional nature. He's a real fantasist. And there's a real instability. Like, yeah, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not going to say he's schizophrenic. But there's a really obvious instability in his personality. Peter, I'm absolutely not going to defend the neoliberals or the Democratic Party. But Trump is a liar. Trump is a thief. Trump is a criminal. And he got the votes he got by blatantly appealing to white supremacists. Okay? And a bunch of people who should be ashamed until the day they fucking die voted for him because they were paranoid about the idea of white people no longer being the absolutely unassailable controlling force in American society. That's what put Trump in. I mean, in the abstract, neoliberals, well, no, I fucking hate neoliberals. And that is a completely abstract point. The concrete point that got Trump in was racism first, sexism second. It was an absolutely disgusting display. He got the nomination from the Republican Party. His opponent were just feckless idiots. They were just morons. And he just chewed them up and spat them out because they couldn't adapt to the fact Trump simply wasn't playing by the rules. Trump was saying and doing things that were regarded as unacceptable and unconscionable. And a bunch of, quite frankly, utter fuckwits went, yeah, he's speaking real speak. I love the way he speaks. It's like, Catherine, white supremacists is getting worse. That's not your imagination. Trump is actively protecting and promoting white supremacists. I mean, for fuck's sake, he called the white supremacists rallying in Charlottesville very fine people. And he talks about a black athlete protesting legally, silently, non-confrontationally. He calls that person a son of a bitch. He calls blatant racists violently protesting and murdering people. He calls them very fine people. But a black person who dares to speak up at all is a son of a bitch. Trump is absolutely worthless, vile, despicable, racist scum. I mean, okay, I'm going to throw these snotty tissues out and I'm going to make myself another drink. You think I've got a head of steam now? Yeah, another drink, then we'll see what's happening. And I'm going to chuck these out because it's gross having snotty tissues around. Okay. All right, so vote time. Speaking of democracy, let's have a vote. Of my new drinks that I made up today, the one I was just drinking was like a chili tequila. And the one that we were talking about that I actually had before I came on was bacon maple bacon, or maple macon. Maple macon, I think we decided called. And I also made some salted caramel vodka. So yeah, anti-swagger saying water. I'm sorry, the committee's overruling you on that one. On other nights, I would actually have non-alcoholic drinks. It's just because it's a long weekend. Maple macon, everything. I was betting maple macon would get votes. But yeah, it's just that it's a long weekend. I don't have to get up. I can just lie in bed all day tomorrow. So, do you or have you ever smoked pot? So I don't smoke anything Celtic King. So I don't think I could smoke pot without just choking and thinking if I don't draw smoke into my lungs, I think I just choke and whatnot. But I have indulged in a variety of recreational pharmaceuticals. Oh, you got a coffee break day. Have I eaten pot pie? No, you don't really get that in Australia. If I swear to God, if I was in America, in one of the states where the recreational stuff was legal, or I knew someone who had a prescription for medicinal stuff, I would absolutely go the edibles. No two ways about it. I would give it a go. But that's not really a thing here in Australia. I know some people do it. They'll make hash cookies or whatnot, but it's not really a big thing in Australia. But I would definitely try them if I had the opportunity. All right, well, we're going to need some more ice, and then I'm going to have to make myself a drink. Let's go to the freezer. Ice. Big ice. I like ice. I have big ice cube trays. Now, I had a housemate years ago who made hash cookies, but I wasn't really into them at the time. So nice to meet you. That's an army line from one of his classic movies. That's The Last Action Hero, wasn't it? Nice to meet you. Something like that. Philosopher, the freezer eats my ice. That sounds like some sort of real existential problem right there. Okay, so I'm going to put this back. All right. So, I'm going to do this one because I haven't actually tried it. This is my salted caramel vodka in a skull decanter. Celtic King. Toby did send me another package, which I think has some religious tracts in it, possibly religious tracts for the Cult of Angry. But I keep forgetting to go to my mailbox and getting them. But it is there waiting for me. I haven't tried my salted caramel vodka, so I'm going to have to make it. I like it with a bit of lemonade. Just do a mixer. Oh, special butter. Yes, I know some people do it with butter, Joe. You can cook with it. I see. Oh, Lucy, you're right. Ice to Meet You is Mr. Freeze in Batman. Apologies for the sneeze. That's going to happen. Oh my God. So the sinuses thing only kicked in sort of last night. A couple of days before that, when I thought I was getting sick, and I was pretty sure I was because it was a bit different. My chest was being congested and I had a weird cough. Oh, okay, this is it. I'm actually going to get sick this time. Make ice a couple months later when it's been died. Yeah, actually, ice, for those who don't know, in a normal freezer, because the way freezers work and the gases in it, it won't last forever. If you leave ice in a freezer for a really long time, the ice cubes will shrink or possibly go away altogether. But I never leave ice for a couple of months, not even a day. I have a lot of ice in my drinks. So ice tends to not last more than a day or two with me at the rate at which I use it. A lot of people think it's weird how much ice I put in drinks. Hey, Joe, I'm not sure if those lids really stop it drying out. I think that's what they're for. Yeah. So it kind of just looks like I'm drinking lemonade now. It's just very slightly colored. Ooh, that's good. Oh, Peter, being an ice addict, my kids, particularly when they were younger, used to make jokes about that because really the government health campaigns against using the drug ice. And there was a big billboard not far from where we lived that said ice is a dirty drug. And my kids would laugh because I had ice in my drinks all the time. Hey, yeah, Daddy, ice is dirty. Why do you do so much ice? It's bad that you do ice all the time. It's like, don't say that in front of your teachers, okay? Not even as a joke, because they're not necessarily going to get it. And when I try to explain, no, they mean frozen H2O, and they're trying to make a joke. And by that stage, you know, child welfare is involved, and it's all really ugly. I just had an urge to have a slice of cold pizza because some of the pizza's left over. And it's just behind my laptop, in fact. Mike, the kebab flavored Doritos. I've been thinking about trying them. And they've just never been in front of me when I've been in the mood because I'm very intrigued by the idea of kebab flavored Doritos. Oh, Philosopher and Megaleech have tried them. What are they like? I mean, I actually got there's some limited edition Pringles in Australia at the moment, like Aussie favourites. And there's chicken salt flavored Pringles and meat pie flavored Pringles. And I tried both of those this week. They're okay. They aren't too bad. It doesn't really taste like a kebab. Well, okay, for those who don't know, in Australia, Doritos did these limited edition flavors. They call them late night specials or something. And there's, I think one's taco flavored. Is that right? Taco or burrito? And there's one that's southern fried chicken. And the newest one is the kebab flavored one. I haven't tried the kebab one. So, but I am going to have a slice of cold pizza. Wait a second, it's just here. This is really good. So this is just just a supermarket frozen pizza. It was a spinach pizza, which is quite nice. And I cooked up some vegetables. What is it? You probably see the yellow is yellow capsicum and onion and mushroom. And then I added bacon as well. And yum. Okay. Actually quite good. Peter, no, I have not seen Sean Bedlam's show Death to America. I'm kind of boring and don't go out much. Sean's doing that show in the Melbourne Fringe Festival. I'm not going to see any Fringe shows. Kind of boring like that. It's a good question, Catherine. Is there going to be much difference between the Doritos taco flavor and kebab flavor? I tell you the chip flavor. Pringles had a cheeseburger flavor, and it had a whole series of flavors. Like, it didn't just taste. It did taste like meat, like a cheeseburger, but it also, as you're crunching it up, it's like there's even pickle. Like, there's a pickle on your cheeseburger. There's a little bit of pickle flavor in there. I found it quite amazing, the amount of flavors they put into it. I always remember an article I read years ago online, a guy who got to tour a snack food factory in the US. Like, I think it was in New York State, and where they made, chips and whatnot, and had all the different flavors. And he said it was really weird because the smells, as you were walking around, smelled like meals. Like, it smelled like food. It smelled like whole roast dinners and cooking meat and stuff. So it was really surreal because there was really nothing approaching food in this place. Like, the chips weren't even sliced potato. It was potato flour that was like pressed into chip shapes, and all these artificial flavors stuff. And just because the flavors were all powders, it was all wafting around on the air. And the guy who wrote the article said it was really weird because it smelled like food was cooking everywhere, but there was nothing really approaching actual food anywhere there. Dottie, you put apple rock candy in a skull of vodka. Nice. Making yourself an appletini. That is a nice move. I like that. Over the last couple of years, I've experimented with heaps of stuff. Just gone like, wait, I really like that taste. I don't know if I can put that. Like, sometimes it's been fruit, it's been herbs, and it's been lollies that I've put into alcohols. Like, one that was a bit of an experiment that I liked how it turned out. There's this Japanese milk candy that I really like, and I thought, I reckon that'd taste good. And I dissolved some of that in some vodka. That made a really nice drink. So, it's basically have fun experimenting. It's like, what's that? Well, that's a taste I like. I wonder if I could get that taste into a drink. Never tried chips. Well, Celtic King, I stopped making the angry alcohol videos. People didn't seem that into them. Okay, Mike, you like rich, creamy caramel. What I would recommend, because this is what I do, if you can find caramel rock candy, the stuff that dissolves best in alcohol is rock candy. I did make some once with the old Jersey caramels that you get in the supermarket. Um, and that actually created a lot of sediment. It took a really long time to filter the one that I made out of Jersey caramel. So, but I have found that rock candy is the best. So if you can find a place that does sort of exotic flavors, rock candy, like, you know, this one is salted caramel. The same place where I got that also makes a peppermint caramel, and that is really nice. Something. Thanks, Celtic King. I'm glad you think I'm awesome. I try, yeah. But yeah, it's always fun. I found it to be fun experimenting with flavors. So it's basically like lollies in particular, because they're just sugar. It just makes you drink very sugary. Um, but it's just like, oh, okay, I like that flavor. I'm going to see if that dissolves in a drink. Um, so yeah, it's basically like whatever. And some lollies don't really completely dissolve, but a lot of their color and flavor will go in. In those cases where I've sort of there's been some solid left when I filtered it, I tend to make milkshakes out of them. Like I put them in a blender with, you know, like some ice cream and milk, and make a milkshake out of them. That's pretty good too. So, but yeah, I've got some nice herb infusions up there. Um, I got one. I think I can't remember if it's vodka or gin, but it's really nice to add that to. And there's one I made with Polish rectified spirit, like 95% alcohol, and that actually ended up being too strong. So I can't even really even put uh, a shot of that into drink. So I just use it like bitters, like just put a few drops in, and it puts a flavor of the herbs in the drink, which, you know, can make for a really nice concoction. Oh yeah, mango flavored beer. Okay, I have seen a few mango flavored beers. Thank you, Celtic King. I do my best to have godly wisdom, and I hope to see you again soon. Holy Shrektified. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I feel better for having eaten that piece of pizza, actually. Cold pizza. Food of champions. I feel like now, having talked about the herb ones, I feel like a couple of drops of herb flavor. Oh God, Shrek is love. Oh, isn't the internet wonderful? There is so much weird shit on the internet, and Shrek is love is among the weirdest shit on the internet. Hang on, I'm gonna do herbs. I have decided it's just up here. Ugh. Oh. Look at this stuff. It's like it's almost black. If memory serves me correctly, this is Polish rectified spirit. Mm. And but literally so strong it'll overpower it. So I'm just going to put a couple drops in. Oh yeah, and when you dilute it, it goes. That looks kind of black, but it's actually really dark green. I'll just mix that in. Elf on the Shelf meme Angry on Ang Lee. I don't know what Ang Lee looks like. Dragon Eyes, good morning to you. Although, yes, it is evening here, 9:30. That's good. That has actually improved that drink a few drops of the herb bitters. Yes, talking about Hugh Hefner being dead. Feely, this is of this one, this big. That's that had Crystal Skull vodka in it, and then I got kind of obsessed with Skull decanters. And these smaller ones, I found at like $2 shops. Either a bit smaller. That holds about 300 or 400 mils. This I think held about 700 mils. I'm not sure. Uh, and we got these from like some of those $2 shops, and have a. I won't get up and get it. You see, I can't really see it. There's a big decanter up there. It's a Skull decanter. I also have Skull shot color. Pretty childish, really. The Skull thing that I'm into. Got a whole bunch of Skull decanters, and I've got Skull shot glasses. Pretty stylish. The Crystal Head vodka, I got a couple of gift packs of that over the years. One had Skull shot glasses, which are really heavy and chunky cut glass Skull shot glasses, and another one was a Skull martini glass with a skull instead. Dragon Eyes, does it move between shots? I'm not sure. What is it, and what movement would you be expecting? Yes, Catherine, you're right. Hugh Hefner was 91, died. And isn't it a cheery thought that his dead body was probably found by nude triplets? That's something they'll carry with them to the grave, isn't it? Dragon Eyes, I still don't know what you mean by does the skull move between shots? Maybe I'm just slow, but I don't really get what you're saying. Yes, and I wonder how long before he died Hef actually got a blowjob, because I don't imagine he goes very long without one, or didn't. Megalich probably in the act, like the famous Billy Snedden death. A fun bit of Australian history, Australian politics. A former leader of the Conservative coalition, he was the leader in the 70s prior to 1975, by the name of Billy Snedden, was found dead in a hotel room, which prompted a tabloid that was around at the time that was called The Truth, which was a humorous name for a rag that just did titillation, rumors, and outright lies as its staple. But they actually ran a front page in huge type saying Snedden died on the job, which a bit of a high point in Australian culture, I thought. Why are you sad, Dragon Eyes? And I apologize for being dense, but I don't get the H bomber reference either. So I think, Feely, you're right. If Hugh Hefner did not have a rock solid will, the fight could drag on for a very long time, because with these multiple marriages and domestic arrangements, there are a lot of people who could feasibly lay some kind of claim on it. Mike, sum up Hef's last moments in a movie title. Die Hard. Don't show yourself out. That is quality. That is a quality line right there. Die Hard as Hef's last moments. Okay, that's a challenge. Who else can come up with a movie title that sums up Hef's last moments? There's got to be there's got to be another one, something else that we can work innuendo into. It's going to be hard to, though. Yes, okay. Now I feel bad because I thought I could come up with something, and I can't. Well, that's a bit sad, quite honestly. Ugh, failing. You know where my Facebook meme is. Okay, there's nothing new there. That's okay. Oh God, I'm so. Just keeps going. Like I'll be fine, and then I don't know it's the talking that moves snot up into my sinuses, and eventually, blocks. Megalith weekend at Hef's. Yeah, but it was kind of like so much Viagra in his system that his corpse probably does have a woody. But yeah, it's really weird. Like, what will happen to the Playboy Mansion now? Will it cease to exist? I know his daughter was involved in running the Playboy empire for quite some time. But yes, symbolically, at the very least, a lot of things will change with the passing of Hef, because in the public psyche, he was tied up in a lot of that stuff. Tendai, it could cause trouble closing the casket. They just have to have white lid ones. Oh, Dottie, your dad was in the truth. A scandal with a drunk footballer on the page of. Yeah, okay. That was the other one. The truth tended to have a topless page 3 girl. And that was the thing that British tabloids had until quite recently. Page 3 girls. Like somehow you needed titties with your scandalous news. And I mean, I'm much more in favor of boobies than, you know, ups. But yeah, there was always something at least slightly weird about oh my God. Sorry, I'm just seeing some weird photos posted by a YouTube beauty vlogger, and she looks like she's made of plastic. It's really disturbing. Really disturbing. I'm gonna sneeze again. Catherine, yeah, I think you're actually right that he did sell the mansion. I believe you're correct, but part of the deal was him continuing to live there. I believe you are absolutely correct on that. I don't. Yeah, we're joking about a funeral and closing the casket and whatnot on Hef, but can't imagine service. Can you? That doesn't seem right. Megaleech, that's a pretty good one. The Last Stand, the movie that sums up Hef's ending, The Last Stand. I like that. That's pretty good. Oh my God, I've just been so lethargic today. It's cold. I did go out for a while. I went out to get booze. I decided I didn't have enough booze in the house. And so I went out and I got some tequila and bourbon and vodka and some rock candy to flavour them. And I did a bit of grocery shopping too, because, you know, I'm not just a complete alcoholic. Well, maybe. Yeah, but it was just like, yeah, on Netflix all day. Binge watching, what do you call it? BoJack Horseman. I actually finally got Netflix specifically for Star Trek, which I like. They're only releasing like one episode a week of that. There's all sorts of stuff on it I've always wanted to watch BoJack Horseman because so many people said it was good, and it is. I think BoJack Horseman is an amazingly good show. Like it's funny, but the depth in it is really good. So I finished season 2. I started on Sunday. So since Sunday, so in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, I've watched 2 seasons of BoJack Horseman. I watched a couple of comedy specials, like stand-up specials. A recent one from Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle, and I started watching Jerry Seinfeld, which was really fucking bland. And I just went, oh, I don't need to use up an hour of my life watching it. I watched like 5 or 10 minutes of it. And I just went, no, I don't need to use up an hour of my life watching this. This is kind of bland and nothing. And I watched the first episode of a comedy series called Master of None. Aziz Ansari is the lead. That was okay. First episode. I'm kind of interested to see what that goes. But I've got a pin in a few things to watch. I still have to watch the new Black Mirror. I haven't watched the new Black Mirror yet. Yes, Tendo. I've got to watch Narcos. Everyone's telling me to watch Narcos, so I guess I'll watch Narcos. I want to watch another animated series. F is for Family. Because I still haven't watched Stranger Things. So I think I'll watch Stranger Things because everyone raved about that. And there's just so much on the of the Marvel series. Okay, I'll do a quick poll, a quick unscientific poll. What's better out of Luke Cage and God, my brain just went totally blank about what the female one was. So I'm sure someone will pop up and say it. And they're both in Defenders. It also has Daredevil and Iron Fist. I have no Jessica. It's not Jessica Jones, is it? It's Jessica something. I have no interest in watching Iron Fist. Yeah, it is Jessica Jones. Okay. Too many people ragged on Iron Fist. Yeah, Feely. Yeah, being an '80s kid, everyone says Stranger Things has the real '80s vibe. So I'm very interested to see what it is. Yeah, honey, I'm not that into the idea of Agents of Shield. I watched some of the first. Got into it. I did Philosopher. I did see that show 3%. Like I'm just flicking through everything they have on there. And there's a few that sort of oh, that might be good, and 3% looked like it might be pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot to keep me going. Yeah, Dragon Eyes. I only ever heard people say Iron Fist was boring, basically. Joe Will, fatigue. I understand, my friend. Thank you. Give me a like, buddy, on your way out the door. That's what I like to see. Yeah, basically most people said Iron Fist was good. Most people said Jessica Jones was good. Most people said Iron Fist was kind of boring. People seem somewhat divided on Defenders, but I mean, before watching Defenders, I'd watch Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, so it'll be a while before I watch Defenders. Yeah, but there is a bunch, and of course, there's the '80s lady wrestler one, Glow. Like, I haven't watched that yet. There's a shit ton of like live stand-ups by comedians I like. Okay, 3% was a short on YouTube first. There you go. Oh yeah, Shane from The Walking Dead is the Punisher, Peter. Does he have his own series, or are they just talking about giving him his own series? Because I read there either is or was going to be a standalone Punisher series with the actor who played Shane on The Walking Dead. That dude's pretty good. I've seen him in a few movies and whatnot, and he is pretty good. But it's like this, golden age of television. So I think I'll, I'll milk Netflix for a couple of months, and when Star Trek's over, the reason I want to keep it, I don't know, and I might drop it. But there's also there's the Australian service called Stan, which I think amalgamates stuff from a few American networks, and it's got a few series that are only on it and nowhere else that I want to watch. It's got at least 2 or 3 series I want to watch. And then I still want to see American Gods, and I don't even know who carries that in Australia. It's like Amazon Prime or something. I'm not even 100% sure legally in Australia. So we'll have to see about that. But yes, bloody golden age of TV. There's just such an amazing, mind-blowing amount of good TV on. It's like impossible to keep up with it. You know, I feel like I can watch about of the shows that people say are good. I feel like I can watch about 1 in 10 of them, or maybe 1 in 5 of them. Like, you really have to choose. Okay, I'm going to watch that. I don't have enough time to watch that and that and that and that and that. So I'm going to watch that one. Because of course I'm trying to do YouTube stuff as well, and I can't do YouTube stuff if I'm watching TV. So I would have made a video last night, because okay, I did a live stream on Tuesday, and I planned to do a live stream tonight, and the fucking cold was just starting to hit me last night. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna make a video tonight. I'm gonna fucking lay low, and I'll go with live stream. But I will make one tomorrow, because so much insane shit is happening in the world. I just feel the need to rant about it, and like, man, it's like Australian politics is so fucking stupid at the moment. It's like I was saying earlier, the bloody culture warriors going on about, oh, Macklemore is singing Same Love at the rugby league grand final. That's politics. You gotta keep politics out of sport. And fucking Pauline Hanson, I just want to, every time the Australian media give oxygen to Pauline Hanson, I just want to choke the people responsible. I want to just squeeze their neck and bash their head against a wall and just say, stop fucking doing this. Because she's nothing. She appeals to a tiny sliver of really fucking stupid, racist fucking morons. She's got nothing to offer the most Australia. And they got her talking about Macklemore. She's going, I don't even know who he is. Okay, well, shut the fuck up then, Pauline, okay? If you actually don't know the topic of the conversation, just shut the fuck up. But then she goes, oh, we should have Johnny Farnan or Daryl Braithwaite. Like, way to have your fucking finger on the pulse of the 1970s, Pauline. That is just like, it's laughable how stupid. It's absolutely laughable how stupid she is. And I just love the idea. I'm waiting for Johnny Farnham and Daryl Braithwaite to come out public and say, Pauline Hanson, keep your fucking mouth shut. Keep my name out of your mouth. Don't you ever fucking mention me in any of your brain dead shit, because I find you disgusting and contemptible. Because she is disgusting and contemptible. Oh, Dottie, honest opinion of the new Star Trek. It's only 2 episodes in, and I like it. I look, the Klingons, I do not understand why they felt compelled to reinvent the Klingons and make them look different. I don't think that was necessary. I don't really get why they did that. But broadly, I thought the episode was really quite good, and it's taken a really interesting angle, like the lead character being a human who was raised by not by Klingons, by Vulcans. So she's got that weird Vulcan mindset, but she's actually human. and she's been around humans long enough on a starship that her human side's now the more dominant thing. But I like the idea that the Klingons had been all sort of scattered and whatnot, and they're now just reuniting the Empire in effectively a holy war against Federation. And the Federation is trying to balance between their thing of, are we explorers or are we soldiers? And it's like, do we have a choice when we're facing this foe who thinks about nothing but war and conquest? I think it's a really promising start. I did really enjoy the first 2 episodes. A few surprises thrown in, and I'm really interested to see where they take it from now. Yeah, Megaleech, I get saying about with the different Klingons trying to distinguish between the multiple houses, but then you had the holograms of all the houses, and none of them looked like the Klingons that we're used to seeing. I thought, because first there was the really skinned Klingons, and of course it was like when we got a black Vulcan in Voyager. Of course, a race that was spread all over a planet was going to have different skin tones. And all we'd ever got with aliens before in Star Trek was they all had the same skin tones, whether that was sort of pale or red or brown or black. They all had the same skin tone, which doesn't really make sense spread out across a whole planet. So when I first saw the black-skinned Klingon, I thought, okay, that's cool. That's like a different Klingon race, and that's a good thing. But then they showed all the Klingons, and none of them appeared to look like Klingons that we'd seen before. I was thinking, I don't know why you're doing that. Like, I could get that this is a different race of Klingons, and they look different to the other ones, but here are the ones that look like the ones we're used to. But if you're not going to have any that look like the other ones, I don't really understand that. And I get, yeah, Megaleech, I got the pale Klingon was an albino, and I thought it was a good touch. He was like an outcast because he was so different. He was a mutation. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, I do kind of feel like the Worf Klingon look was a good look. And yeah, as you say, Heine, the next generation Klingons were a good look, and they were the same ones in Deep Space Nine. I don't really understand making the Klingons look totally different. But like I said, I mean, those might only holograms, so maybe they don't really go. Maybe we'll see ones that look exactly like the ones that we saw before, because that I could get on board with if there were just different races of Klingons that we hadn't seen before. But yes, oh yes, video games for fun. We are actually talking the new series of Star Trek right now. Dragon Age, you don't have to feel left out. Star Wars, I'm sure Star Wars fans too, hanging out for the next Star Wars. We must be about to get another trailer for it, like based on the release schedule for the last one. I think we had the teaser trailer. We must be about due for another trailer, and then there will be another trailer that come out about a month before the movie comes out. Well, I said this before in a live stream as well. It was intriguing to see Mark Hamill saying you should try to avoid as much as you can before the movie comes out. He's basically saying the less you know about the movie before it comes out, the more you'll enjoy it. But it's going to be impossible to avoid works, and it's going to be saturation marketing for Star Wars, like really, really, really fucking stupid product placement in the supermarkets. Like, here are some Star Wars oranges. I'm not even making that up. That happened with the last movie. Star Wars oranges. Thanks for dropping by, Peter. Good to see you. So the level of merchandising and product placement was a little embarrassing and irky, I thought. And it will happen all over. Mind you, what really interested me for the Force Awakens merchandising is how, I don't know, like 90% of it was classic Star Wars. It was Darth Vader and Yoda and classic stormtroopers, and um, it was really weird to me that so much of the market was actually nothing to do with the Force Awakens. It was actually classic Star Wars marketing. Tendai, fun fact: McDonald's got Burton fired from making Batman films. That's interesting. What do you base that on? Musical Aviator. If social media had been a thing in the lead up to The Empire Strikes Back, man, how big a thing would that be? How big a thing would that be? I'm hanging out for that next show. But I was reasonably impressed with The Force Awakens. I missed spoilers. I did not get any spoilers. Like, I didn't know that Luke basically wasn't in the movie. I didn't know about Han Solo. Um, I didn't know about Kylo Ren's lineage. So, yeah. There's some good dark hints about The Last Jedi, like that line from the teaser trailer that Luke's saying, "The Jedi must end." And that's interesting. That could mean so many different things. Like, I think the Jedi always had the balance between the Jedi and the Sith, the light and the dark. And if Luke's just saying that's kind of bullshit, and we need to throw that away and actually just fucking do the bad guys, screw the idea of balance. Oh, Biori, that would really suck having the hand spoiler. Oh, I get what you're saying, Tendai, because Warner Brothers and McDonald's did a merchandising blitz before the Tim Burton Batman came out, and the film was too dark for them in the end. I like it. Dragon, look, I get personal taste in movies is completely okay. I personally thought Force Awakens was fucking great. I really liked it. I thought it was fucking fantastic. And I thought Rogue One was fantastic. I thought they were both really good films. Uh, but yeah, it's who knows. They are hyping Last Jedi a little bit. I'm be very intrigued to see what happens. Oh, Feely, I love when people my age reboot Blake 7. Um, yeah, kind of deserves it. Like a high budget Blake 7 remake would be cool. Yeah, it turns out there's already been the Knight Rider reboot. But Blake 7, for people who don't know, was a BBC sci-fi from the 70s, early 80s. And it was a little bit dark. It was about, rebels against the big galactic police state. It was a little bit dark. I quite liked it. Uh, Video games for fun. The movie Mother, I have not seen. Agree with you that it seems to have divided a lot of people. And now I probably won't see it till it comes out on home release. But yeah, you're right. It does seem to have divided a lot of people. Bury, have Colin Baker play Baben the Butcher. I don't even know what you're talking about there, but I love it. Colin Baker. Yeah, well, I don't know. I kind of have empathy for Colin Baker because he fell out with the show producer who was fucking up Doctor Who in the 80s. And Colin Baker got really fucked over by the producers. And I have a bit of empathy for some received. Yeah, Catherine, I'm really interested in the Leia well because they had finished principal photography when she died. As far as I know, I think they had finished principal photography before she died. And it was a heartbreaking thing to hear that they said, look, it fucking shook us so much that she died because the first movie was about Ray. This one's going to be about Luke. The third one was going to be about Leia. She was going to be the fulcrum of the third movie. And now, of course, she can't be. And the only thing they've let on is they're not reshooting anything, they're not using CG, and they're not recasting. So Leia's not going to be in the third movie in this trilogy. So something's going to happen off screen to her. So I am intrigued. I just think I'm going to fucking cry whenever Carrie Fisher is on screen in The Last Jedi. I'm just going to go, oh, no, that's not fair. Well, Dragon Eyes, you like the prequels. I think everyone hates Jar Jar. I think the battle scenes in the prequels were really good, but I couldn't understand how fucking bad the names for the prequels were. Like the first prequel was called The Phantom Menace. What the fuck did that even mean? What was The Phantom Menace? That makes no sense. There's nothing in that movie that is The Phantom Menace. What the fuck does that title even fucking mean? And the second one, Attack of the Clones. What fucking drugs was George Lucas on that movie was not just called The Clone Wars? The Attack of the Clones. That was such a stupid fucking name for the movie. I mean, finally he got the obvious title for the third one, Revenge of the Sith. But the titles of the first two prequels make no sense whatsoever. They're such fucking terrible movie titles. It's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that even about? Yeah, Dragon Eyes, that's a fucking stretch, man. The Phantom Menace with Sith controlling things from the shadows. It's just like, should have been called Rise of the Sith or something. Phantom Menace was a fucking stupid name that made no sense whatsoever. But oh, look, Philosopher, I get kids liking Jar Jar, and this was the thing. Like, I thought George Lucas kind of had something when he said, look, okay, fans of the original trilogy hated the prequels, but they don't get that they were kids when they saw the original Star Wars. Kids love the prequels. And then the next generation of kids love the animated stuff, the Clone Wars and Rebels. And I thought, oh, that has a bit of credibility to it. And then the fucking Force Awakens comes out, and it's a fucking great movie. And Rogue One comes out, and it's a fucking great movie. It's like, no, the sequels were just bad, George. The sequels were just fucking bad. You're right, Dottie. The animated series, Clone Wars and Rebels, way better than the prequels. And again, I think let's talk about this every other live stream. But there was a series of animated shorts directed by Gennady Tartakovsky, who did Samurai Jack, came out between prequel 2 and 3, and these were called the Clone Wars, and they're fucking great. They are really good. They give a lot of backstory and they give a lot of depth, and they're really worth watching. They're on YouTube, I think. Dragon Eyes, you've summed it up perfectly, my friend. You have summed it up perfectly. The pros for the prequels were Ewan McGregor, the fights and the visuals, and the cons were everything else. Okay. Also, I'll go with some other pros where Darth Maul was really good, and it was kind of depressing. He got killed off in the first one. And I thought, oh God, I got to sneeze. Sorry. Oh, I thought Liam Neeson was good too. And yeah, Mace Windu, sorry, Bury. Mace Windu, he was very good as well. Everything Mace Windu did was pretty much Good. Yeah, you know, Samuel L. Jackson with a purple lightsaber. That was pretty fucking cool. So there were a couple. There were a couple pros, but yeah, the set fight scenes, battles were really good. I liked you're talking about with the Darth Maul was good. I liked it, and I saw some reviewer say that, and I really agreed with what they said. And I don't think I even realized when I watched it that fight scene at the end of the Phantom Menace where it's Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fighting Darth Maul, and they're in that thing with the reactor with the shields and the whatnot, and they're going fight, zoo, 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 and then occasionally this thing happens where these shields go up and they have to stop. And while the shield's up, they just stop and they meditate. And Darth Maul does that really slow pacing, and Qui-Gon's just meditating. And those moments of were really good. It showed that it wasn't just dudes having a fight. There was a lot of there's depth behind the Jedi and depth behind the Sith. And those moments when they were separated laser shields and they're just holding place, and it's just this moments of stillness, and then the instant the shield went out, just straight into it's all over. Those bits were really good. Dragon Eyes, you hated the Yoda Sidious fight. I know it's kind of funny to see Yoda bouncing all over the place and feeling okay. The pod race was good visually, but it was clearly made to sell video games. To me, that pod race was really obvious just to sell video games. It was made to do racing video games. Plus, it had that little kid who was young Anakin, who was just fucking annoying. But visually, the pod race was really good. It was kind of a drag that was really obvious just to sell video games for pod races. But yeah, you know, whatever. Jake Lloyd, I'll be worried, didn't he fuck up? Like he's the classic child star fuck up, just getting into alcohol and drugs and holding up 7-Elevens. See, Dottie, I didn't watch Rebels or the animated Clone Wars that much. They actually had a fight between Maul and Obi-Wan. Okay, yeah, it's cool. Okay, Phil, it is fair to say child, teen, and adult Anakin was annoying. Yeah, Anakin was just annoying and didn't make sense. And oh my god, the love scenes between Anakin and Padme. When I was watching them, I was just going, has George Lucas ever talked to a girl? Because that's not how it works. That's not how conversations between boys and girls go. It just isn't. Like there was like the dialogue between Anakin and Padme was just embarrassing. No, I look forward to. I don't, and that was the other interesting thing about both Force Awakens and Rogue One. There was no romance. Okay, in Force Awakens, you had Finn obviously had the hots, and Rey didn't really have time for any of that shit. And I don't know. I'm of the camp that Poe Dameron kind of has the hots for Finn. I don't think I'm imagining that. Like, for me, the bit that tips that over the edge is the scene where Finn and Poe meet again for the first time, where both have previously thought the other was dead, and Finn is wearing Poe's jacket, And they're like, buddy, you're still alive. And then Poe goes, that's my jacket. And Finn's go, oh, I'm sorry. And goes to take it off. And Finn just pulls it back on and goes, no. It's, and he does a lip bite. You do a freeze frame, Poe Dameron, when he pulls the jacket back on Finn and says it suits you, he does a lip bite like, it suits you. I know what Poe's thinking. I know what Poe's thinking. And yes, Tendai, I'm chipping it right now. And hi, it's BizBuzz. How you doing? Finn's obviously got the hots for Ray. Ray doesn't seem to have time for anything, but Poe likes the look of Finn, quite honestly. I'm just saying it. Like I say, if you haven't noticed it, watch it back. A little scene where Poe and Finn meet up again, where they have both previously thought the other was dead, and Finn's wearing Poe's jacket, and yeah, Poe just goes, "You wearing my jacket?" And Finn goes, "You know, he looks good on you." It's just like, okay. And when you've seen interviews, the guy who plays Poe is so like he's such a good actor. If you ever see him in a movie, he's gonna be good. And he's done so many good roles over the years. But I saw interviews with him where he laugh and he's just saying like, "Oh yeah, I was playing it as a romance, definitely." Dragon Eyes, I do tend to agree with you about another Death Star. Um, I don't really agree that Killing Hand was predictable because I certainly didn't see it coming. And the emotionless Stormtrooper, well, I think that's a core thing because that had always been a cop-out in the previous Star Wars movies, including the originals. The Empire was implacably bad and the rebels were universally good. And humans just aren't like that. And because the First Order stormtroopers aren't clones, they're kidnapped child soldiers. So they're just ordinary people that have been indoctrinated. But Finn's first taste of battle, when he was given the order to execute unarmed civilians, he couldn't do it. Even though he'd had a lifetime of indoctrination, he couldn't do it, and he had to get out. So I don't know. I'm kind of there with that. Hey Taz, nice to see you back. Tendai, the traitor guy, he got killed, didn't he? Didn't Han Solo shoot him or Chewbacca shoot him? That was a fun thing. Oh, little bit of trivia about again, if you don't know exactly what we're talking about, in the Phantom Menace, when Finn and Han and Chewbacca are on the planet where there's a bar and they're talking to all these people on the there, and the First Order attacks and they're having a fight. Finn picks up a lightsaber and a stormtrooper who recognizes him just goes, "Traitor!" He has this electric cattle prod thing. He's obviously trained in martial arts and fencing. And he has this electric cattle prod thing that can block a lightsaber. And he's actually better at this type of combat than Finn. And he beats him in this combat. And anyway, there was a thing about, well, who, because, you know, Star Trek conventions have people appearing in them that you only see their face or the back of their head. Star Wars movie for 2 seconds, and these people show up conventions like, "Yes, I was in Star Wars. You should me for an autograph," which is a bit. But some dude went public and said he was the in that stormtrooper costume. He was the guy who said "Traitor" and did the fight, and everyone was really excited. And he was just like some English guy, and he said, "Oh, because I'd done fencing when we were on set, they said have fencing training, and he said, "Oh, I do," and so he got to do that role, and he went public saying that, and it was all over Facebook and social media, like, "Oh, this dude was the traitor stormtrooper," and I thought, "Oh, he's got a lifetime of appearing at conventions now," and then after a little bit, the actual Disney people, the Lucasfilm people said, "No, he's not. It was actually a Japanese martial arts guy who did that, someone who trained a bunch of the people in it." And then the guy said, no, okay, I just kind of said that as a bit of a laugh. And it was really only, I was trying to fool my friends, and it went crazy over the entire internet. And it's true, I lied. I wasn't actually the traitor stormtrooper. So that was a bit weird. The stormtrooper who bumped his head. I'm willing to bet the stormtrooper who bumped his head in the original stormtrooper, in the original Star Wars, does actually get that. Yeah, I think Dragon Eyes, I agree with you. There have been some very good designs for specialized stormtroopers over the years. And like even the special forces stormtroopers in Rogue One that were, you know, like Ben Mendelsohn's personal guard, the guys all in black with a slightly modified armor. I thought they were pretty goddamn cool. Yeah, Evil Hub, I tend to agree with you. An Obi-Wan film would be good. A Darth Vader standalone film would be good. There was a comic series came out last year about Darth Vader, and that was really well received. Apparently, that was quite good. And it was basically telling Darth Vader's story. Well, actually, I think they actually had some from it, some that covered different time frames, right from the end of the prequels through to just before Return of the Jedi. And there's one bit I liked. Vader on the bridge of either one of the Star Destroyers or a Death Star, and first time he fully realizes that the Emperor is fucking with him. And there's this really good image of him just staring out a window into space with his hands behind his back, and the window cracks because Vader's really fucking pissed off. That was pretty cool. So yeah, Darth Vader standalone movie would be pretty good. All right, Dragon Eyes. I'm really hoping Gwendolyn Christie, aka Captain Phasma, has a much better role in The Last Jedi, because they didn't kill her off. They sort of they gave her that really cool silver armor and then didn't really do anything with her. But she is coming back in The Last Jedi, and I really have high hopes that they give her a better character and a better role. Dottie, I'm with you. Ewan McGregor does not seem to be aging. He's an incredibly sexy man. But you know, give him a beard, and you know that could age him. It, man, Ewan McGregor in anything worth watching. Am I right? So, hey there, shelf warmer. How are you going? Well, look, that critical time. It's after 10 o'clock. But I did say this was going to be a bit of a blowout party, didn't I? So I don't know that I want to finish yet. So this is when I'd normally sign off. I don't know if I want to do that. Dragon Eyes, you have hit on a great truth there. Ewan McGregor is an immortal sex god like all Scotsmen. Okay, yeah. See, now we're all. I think we're all on the same page here. That Captain Phasma, aka Gwendolyn Christie, needs a much better role in The Last Jedi, and I think the makers are kind of on board with that. I think they realised the fans really liked Captain Phasma, and they would like it to actually be more. So I hold out hope that Captain Phasma has a much better role in the next. I know I don't know if the black BB-8 droid is Phasma's shelf form. I have seen there is a black BB-8. But yes, I guess what are the things we're going to see in the next Star Wars? I guess we are going to see Supreme Leader Snoke. So we'll find out a bit more about him. We get more Luke, and we maybe find out exactly what Luke is thinking, because Luke retreated after all his little acolytes got killed by the Knights of Ren. So we'll find out more about Luke and what he thinks should happen. We'll hopefully get some more Captain Phasma, bit of development of Kylo Ren. Yeah. The Hound. Yeah, okay, let's do that. That was one of the fun things about the end of the last series of Game of Thrones, when the Hound actually came face to face with the reanimated Mountain, his brother, who he's basically sworn to kill. And he's just he's seen those like red swollen eyes, and he's like, what the fuck have they done to you, you piece of shit? And yeah, there will eventually be a Hound versus Mountain showdown. And unless they hate the fans, the Hound will win. Yeah, there will. But I just love that the Hound's been brought back as the Mountain has been brought back as an undead monster. It's just like, fuck me. Okay, that's really a symbol of how insane Cersei is. It's like, sorry, you're using a discredited maester to bring people back from the dead? Okay, fuck, that's normal. What's that about? I think we are definitely going to get the final Clegane Bowl showdown between the Hound and the Mountain. It would be a lot of disrespect to the fans if that didn't happen. Oh, yes, it's kind of. I agree with you completely, Dragon Eyes. But the Faith tried to take Cersei, like not when the Mountain Revenant is there. He's just, you can't fucking kill him because he's already dead, and he's got one order, and that's to fucking stop you, and you are therefore going to be stopped. Yeah, was kind of funny when Cersei just blew everyone up with wildfire. It's just like, fuck. Okay, that's one way to deal with your enemies. Fucking scorched earth. Oh, I really don't think I should drink anymore. Because I'm still coherent, and I won't be sick if I stop drinking now. So yeah. Yeah, I think maybe Bjori, maybe the answer is the final showdown has to be the Hound and Brienne of Tarth versus the Mountain. Because Brienne basically took down the Hound, with a bit of help and a bit of luck. And so Brienne and the Hound joining forces against the Mountain. I could go that. But yeah. And I have to admit, I love how the faceless one has fucking killed him. Because Isaac, after the Red Wedding, when those pricks betrayed the most basic element of society, basically, if you're hosting someone, you can't hurt them. Bread and salt, you can't hurt them. And then those dicks killed the Starks at the Red Wedding. Is like, that was the cornerstone of their society. those people just spat on the cornerstone of their society. I was like, man, you got to wipe them out. Those people have got to pay for that. You're going to sneeze again. And they did. Like, the Boltons have literally been wiped out, and the Freys have been wiped out. And that's basically what I was saying for a couple of years after the Red Wedding. I was saying, you can't let, not even the Lannisters can let that stand. These people betrayed the cornerstone of your society. Your society can't function. People don't respect the guest right, and you've got to fucking wipe them off the face of the earth. And that's what ended up happening. The Boltons got wiped out, and then Arya wiped out the Freys. And that was fucking glorious that Arya just killed all of them. And yeah, it was fun that when she killed old man Frey, telling him that he was eating a pie made of his sons who she killed earlier, and then just pulling the face off and saying, I just want you to know I'm a Stark. I want that to be the last thing you know. I thought, okay, that's it. You killed Frey and his sons. But then she invites all the Freys to a big banquet where she's got the face of Walder Frey on, and she kills all of them. My God. Video games, you're right. Arya in the house should be psychic. I get T-shirts quite often from a site called T Fury, and they do pop culture mashups. And sometimes they have a different T-shirt every day, and sometimes I get their T-shirt of the day. I've got a whole bunch of Doctor Who T-shirts from the site. But a couple of times a year, they'll do what they call a grab bag, and they go, okay, we've got a whole bunch of shirts in our warehouse that we didn't sell before, and we'll sell it for $5 a shirt. They're pretty good quality shirts. Oh, excuse me. And they go, but this is a lucky dip. You won't know what you're getting, but you can get T-shirts for $5. And so once or twice a year at least, I tend to get a grab bag. I'll get 3 or so T-shirts, and this thing, you're trying to get me to go to bed. Sorry, things are going weird on my phone. Okay, this will be my last point. T Fury. So I get the grab bags, and one of the last ones, because yeah, they have female, male, and I said to my kids who are teenagers, I'm going to get some grab bag T-shirts you want, and they both said yes. So young is angry. He's actually, when I say teenage, she's 19. She turns 20 next. That's how old I am. I have a 20-year-old daughter, or soon to be 20-year-old daughter. She said yes. I got something a girl wants, and she got this fucking awesome shirt of Arya and the Hound. Really nice design. So yeah. Feeler and Sealer. Off-topic question: who are the worst bad guy shooters in TV movies? From the Cylons, Pirates vs. Battle Scarlet, Soldier Knives, Movie Commander, it is. It's a sad cliche in movies and TV shows that bad guys can't shoot straight. It is a bad cliche, and it's a very widespread cliche. Trying to think, because like, yeah, it's just whenever anyone's shooting at a hero, they're a really bad shot, and it's very hard to work out why. Hey, Sebastian, sorry I'm about to leave. Dragon Eyes. Oh, I tell you what bugged me about the alien bugs from Starship Troopers. The lack of logic. Like, I think broadly, Starship Troopers is a very good movie, but they do this thing where it's like, okay, there are literally millions of these bug aliens, and they have this thing where the Marines, like, you can fire 20 rounds into the bug without killing it, and it's like, dude, when there are hundreds, thousands of them coming, if you don't stop one with 20 rounds, you're fucked. That was a single out thing in Starship Troopers that really bugged me. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. You can't fight a war against these bugs if you can shoot them literally 20 times without killing them. You just, and that let down an otherwise very good movie. I tell you what, I am going to get to bed now. It's about 10:30. Thank you very much for joining in. It has, as usual, been a lot of fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well. And look, I'm going to be making videos, pre-recorded one on either Friday or Saturday, and nicely picked up, Smiley Nerd. It bugged me that the bugs were so Starship Troopers. That is nicely done. You get points to you for that. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you swing by and watch when I post more videos. And I'll probably do at least one live stream over the weekend. I hope I feel better soon too, Tendai. I'm gonna go to bed, see how I feel in the morning. I'm really hoping to feel better. Your thumbs up off my out. Let's all try and fool the YouTube algorithm that I'm really popular. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I've enjoyed doing it. I will see you all again soon. So bye.